Hi everyone, this is Monica once again. We all are quarantined in most part of the world. So here in Singapore, somewhere around I think mid-Jan to the first week of Feb, we all, many of us, many of the families in Singapore had, self-quarantined themselves. So we did this quarantine thing for almost 3 weeks, and that meant that no kids were going to school. Okay, and we moved out of the house only when there was a need for some groceries, so once in 10 to 12 days. Now this is the time that you can actually figure out what should be your diet. People who have a lot of complaints that they don't get time to figure out what to eat, how to eat, when to exercise, what to exercise, this is the time that you can utilize. Okay, and if you are doing quarantine, if you have been quarantined for say 10 to 15 days as we did ourselves, right? So this 15 days is a lot of time to form a good habit. Okay, so if you are not able to figure out your exercise schedule, if you are not able to figure out what should be your diet and what should be a structured diet, healthy options, then this is the time to sit and evaluate things, so that when you start working again, right now you may be working from home, but when you start working again full-fledged, you would be in a much better space, right? So this is one option, and the second option is that you sit, eat, work and relax, right? But I think you should go with the first option, because many people just don't find time to figure out their diets and exercise. So what you should be doing is try to have a structured meal plan. Don't go for anything random, like we have stocked quite a bit, at least for 10 to 15 days, right? So it doesn't mean that you keep on eating whatever comes in your hand, right? So create a workstation at home, okay, and be seated there most of the time as if you are working in the office, right? And when you take your breaks, try and eat healthy. Do not burden the housewives with lot of cooking, okay, extensive cooking. In fact, you should be eating one cooked pot meals, because most of the helpers or maids are again on leaves. So what you could do is you could cook once and eat twice. Like for you, cook something for dinner and cook something for lunch and eat the same for dinner, right? Maybe you can add a little bit of side dish here and there. So do not put a lot of burden on the housewives again. But what you could do is maybe cook a lot of pot meals. What a pot meals is, which contains everything together. Now for example, you could take khichdi, which has vegetables, which has dal, which has rice, right? And khichdi is one food which is the right amount of protein, and you could say the right amount of biological protein in khichdi. Similarly, you could have dalia khichdi, you could have oats khichdi. So there are numerous options of one pot meals. Now if you feel that you don't get time to exercise when you are working, otherwise this is the time, form that habit and teach your kids as well. In 10 to 15 days, if you're doing it in the at the same time period, and if you're doing it with the kids, you would also form a habit and the kids would also form a habit of exercise, and then it is not a problem to carry forward when you start working full-fledged, because you would know a lot of things that you're not able to, and you would improvise on them right now. Okay, stock as much as possible only healthy foods, and if you're buying any junk, then it should be in very small packets, not the large ones. Okay, so whenever you try and eat something, like for instance, if you want to eat lunch now, you should be thinking that if you are really hungry, only then eat. Now what happens is, when we are not traveling for work and we are basically at home, we have a lot of extra rest time, right? So the energy expenditure is not really so high, so you may not be hungry, but just because it is lunch time, you may eat. So that way you cut down on the calories. Just think about it, that if you need a water break, or maybe you need a green tea break, or maybe you just need a mild snack and not a full-fledged meal. So if you're hungry, if you're not hungry to eat an apple, if you're not hungry to eat a salad, then you're not hungry for food as well. You're just bored. So think before you eat, because in 15-20 days it's very easy to gain a lot of fat and a lot of weight also. So do not keep piling on whatever you're finding to eat. Just realize, think and form a habit, and understand that how you would carry these good habits later on as well. You don't Please do not smoke at home, because that way you're putting yourself also at risk and the kids are at home also at risk, because you're somewhere compromising on their immunity as well. And this is the time the maximum immunity amount is required. And we in the last video in the diet to build immunity, we had listed out so many home remedies which should be done to build the immunity. Please go through that. Secondly, whenever you're eating something, for example, you had your lunch, you wait for 20 minutes, okay, and if you still want to eat something more, only then eat more, because generally when you have something to eat, it takes around 20 minutes for our mind to register that you are full, okay. So wait for 20 minutes and only then go for the second helping. So that way you can try and cut down a lot of food. Coming to habits, now these habits are not when you think I don't have motivation for weight loss, or when I feel that I don't have motivation to exercise. It is not the motivation, it is the discipline that is missing. For example, you don't require motivation to get up every morning and brush your teeth and take bath. You do it, right? Because it is something, it's a habit that has been formed, right? Your parents or your grandparents have been teaching you that it's a good habit. So similarly, make exercise a good habit for your kids, for yourself, and that is how you would be following it, right? For your lifetime. As you bathe, as you brush every single day without being reminded about it, or without any motivation. So it is the discipline that is missing, and not the motivation. So plan now and always have a plan B, okay. There would be failures, okay. If you started a diet, there would be failures, and if there are cheat meals beyond when you are not supposed to eat a cheat meal but you had it, it's okay, but the next meal should be healthy. The chain should not continue, you should break the chain here, right? So it is more about putting when you practice these things at least for 10 days, if you are quarantined, you would form a habit later. Coming to sleep is really important. Now what people are actually doing is they sleep very late at night, okay, watching TV, munching on chips and everything, and they sleep very late at night. But here what we when we say that you need to relax, how you need to relax is you need to sleep early, okay, and get up a little later in the next morning. Not that you keep munching till late night, okay. That way you're giving your body to do extra work when you are physically lying down, okay. The heart will not slow down because it has to supply blood for digestion, whatever late night you had, okay. The gallbladder will not clear the toxins because it has to do this digestion work. So basically you are not giving your body time to relax. So have an early meal and sleep little early and get up a little later. That is how you relax, and not by munching and sitting in front of the TV, right? So if you are generally when we are quarantined, we have time. When we sit in front of the TV, we take large packets of chips or anything junk that we want to eat. So never take the entire packet with you in front of the TV. Take a small portion of it, okay, and so that you don't finish the entire packet. You would be too late. If you are only eating out of boredom, you would be too bored to again get up and take the second serving. I hope you utilize this time, okay. This time would you won't get any other chance. People who work for 16-18 hours a day, you won't get another chance to figure out your exercise and eating pattern. Do this now, and you can carry forward it when you start working, because that time it would be double work, right? If you're getting holidays now, later on it would be extreme work also. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips are helpful. Please like, share and comment.